Hey, what's up, y'all? So I am out today looking at houses because we've got some in the pipeline, but we need to get our next ones after these going so that we make sure we got a steady flow. And I got a call this morning from an investor who was kind of a first-time investor, and they had a house that they purchased. They bought it from a wholesaler, and their idea was to rehab it and then flip it. And they'd never done this before, and they hired a general contractor, I think is what he said, to come out and do a rehab on the house. And so I'm standing inside the house right now, and I want to show you some of the things that you need to be careful of, okay? Because pretty much I didn't see this beforehand. All I'm seeing is the current project in its current state, and my eyeballs are popping out because I'm like, I cannot believe somebody is doing this. To not the investor. The investor realized he was getting once over and wanting to get rid of it. And so let me show you some things, and y'all get to see it. So this is an older house, and they decided that they would go ahead and put tile throughout the house. So this is some really cool looking tile, but I want you to see something. Can you see those grout lines right there? Do you see how it looks like they're going like this? That's not an optical illusion. That's what's really happening. And I mean, it's happening all over the place. So this is newly installed tile. And this newly installed tile is going to crack and bust. I mean, can y'all see that? Look at that one. I mean, it's going to crack and bust to kingdom come. And it's swaying over here, and it's doing all kinds of things. Next thing is, they went ahead and put tile on the wall. Now, that's not a bad idea because, I mean, like specifically for a rental property because that keeps things from getting cracked over here. But I think the intent on this was to flip it. We've gotten grout all over everything. We got cabinets already installed that they decided we'll make some new faces for, yet they don't match the rest of the faces. And then I don't know if they're planning on keeping the sink or not, but my guess is it's no longer keepable. Keepable, is that a word? So let's walk in here. We've got LVP in here. So LVP is really cool stuff. The problem with LPV is that you've got to have a really flat surface in order to make it work right. And I'll go ahead and tell you. Can y'all see sitting right here where it's even and then there's a gap? That's because the floors inside this house are all going downhill. It's very uneven. And that is something that should have been remedied well before they started installing floors. To begin with, I thought these were the original floors. Now I'm thinking this was installed, and then they've came in and they've done stuff like this. Dude, I'd have had these contractors. We'd have had problems real quickly. They've done stuff like patch this. Now, these are things that you wouldn't think about if you're inexperienced at doing flips. And I don't believe this investor didn't know what he was doing. This was his first one. He thought, I'm going to buy an old house. I'm going to fix it up. It's going to be awesome. And I'm just going to love it. And when I was listening to him, I could hear the desperation and the anxiety in his voice because he's already spent too much money. The house is not worth what I think he's into it for. And y'all, this one's got a long way to go, a long way to go. We got weird transitions and stuff like that. I mean, the floors everywhere are drooping. Over here, we've got holes in the paneling, but do you see how they tried to match the paneling up? That's not going to fly on a flip, like ever. You can see it over here, too. They tried to mud the cutout right there where they redid electrical in the house because this house has been rewired. Cool. Same thing in here. Y'all check this out. I've never seen this before. The electrical plug is in the door casing for what I guess would be a laundry room, but it's only like my arm's depth on this. So I'm not wanting to browbeat or bash or anything right now. What I'm wanting you to know is that there's oftentimes folks will go and they think, I've watched HGTV, I've been watching Flip or Flop Atlanta, I've been watching whatever goes on in Las Vegas, I'm doing all this stuff, and I know what the heck to do. Look, it goes from even to probably 1.25 inches down there. And they take on these really big rehabs, and it's not good. So there's that idea of go big or go home. But on your first rehab, don't go big. Matter of fact, on your second rehab, don't go big. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to go home with less money than you started with. And that's what's going to happen on this house. Because, I mean, this one's in the rehab's in pretty rough shape. There's no way in heck this should have gotten this far. They didn't start from the floor up. They started doing cosmetic things. It's almost like they worked their way from the top down, and then they've just been trying to piecemeal it together in order to make ends meet now that they've spent so much money on it. So do me a favor. On your first flip, if you're going to do a flip, do a shave and a haircut. By shaving a haircut, I mean go and just do paint, floor coverings, and light fixtures. Do a couple of those first. Get your feel for that. The next ones, you can do what I call a tune-up. So on a tune-up, it's a shave and a haircut plus a major system. So you may have to do the roof. You may have to do HVAC. You may have to do some plumbing, something along those lines. But let it be a long time before you do an overhaul. An overhaul is where you're doing like everything short of a gut job. Let it be a long time before you do that, because otherwise you can have people come in and take advantage of you like I think this investor had happen. You're going to get crazy things done, and I think this is totally inexperience, and I'm really sorry that this guy's going to have to learn this lesson the hard way. But anyway, go big or go home doesn't always work in flipping. It especially doesn't work on your very first go. So be cautious. Not cautious, that's not the right word. Just don't do a huge one on your first deal, and you'll be glad. You'll get a lot of learning lessons just off of shaving a haircut, I can guarantee you. When you do your first tune-up, you're going to get a lot of lessons off of that. There was a lot of lessons that got learned on this. There's a lot of lessons that have not been learned on this just due to inexperience. So anyway, this was interesting. I thought I'd show you about it. Hope you have a great day. Get out there, meet with some sellers, do some deals. Start slow, end big. See y'all. Have a great day.